Welcome, everybody. This is the Front 9 coverage of Round 1 of the 2021 Open at Belton, presented by Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Team Innova's own Kona Panis, calling the shots with me today. Kona, what is going on?
Dude, super excited to be here commentating on our round. We have a lot of young guns, but we also have veteran Catrina Allen.
Yeah, we have a fantastic card of young talent. Obviously, yourself. We have Valerie Mandujano of Texas. We also have the young Pro Tour champion Hailey from Wisconsin, and obviously 2014 world champion Catrina Allen. This is a pretty stacked field, I would say, for the FPO division. Other than the Europeans, it seems like almost everybody is in contention here. And we move into this beautiful course at Heritage Park, hole number 1, 388-foot par 3. What are your thoughts here?
So there's a few different shots you can have. You can go the hyzer route, but that's kind of the big arms shots, and we did not have a favorable wind today. So definitely going more straight at it, but you have some OB you have to worry about, both on the right and left side.
And this is just going to be kind of a compilation initially of different ways to play the hole.
Yeah, Gatekeeper actually got every single woman's tee on hole 1.
Yeah, and this is a great way of just showing the diversity of the division and all the different play styles. As we see Missy lining it up, this seems like actually a shot that Missy would be pretty sufficient at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess just on hole 1 today, it was just battling that left-right wind. I saw a lot of discs kind of just turn over, so keeping it low, yeah.
How did I not know that this was? How did I know this was going to be perfect? A little bit short, but yeah, it's kind of a challenging shot, like you're saying. It's making you throw low ceiling unless you have a 400-foot spike hyzer, but you still have to travel quite some distance to get to the basket, so you're probably having to club up to something a little bit faster.
I did see a few women lay up before the road just because they were worried about the OB on both that left and right side.
Especially starting the division, or starting off the round with a big number. You never want that, especially in round 1. It's always nice to see Hannah back out competing. She does so much for the sport of disc golf on the women's side and on just the business side in general. It's nice to see her getting out and competing again.
Yeah, make sure to tune in to her Party podcast with Christine Jennings. They're doing some amazing things for FPO.
Always good to add more context and more storytelling to all the divisions of disc golf, so definitely tune into that. And Maria Olivia, this is a player that not a lot of people hear about, but she's a phenomenal thrower from Texas.
I love her form.
Yes, very linear, uses her length a lot. And you hear that wind ripping. Sneaky.
Yeah, I believe Maria is from Texas, so I don't know if this is close to her at all, but we'll be seeing her, I believe, at Texas States as well.
Ooh, a little hard flex out of the hand from Lisa Fakis. Man, this is a daunting opening shot.
From Rancho Cucamonga, California, the 2021 Waco Charity Open champion, sponsored by Innova, Kona, Star, Panis.
How does that feel to be have that label slapped on you right to start the round?
Dude, super cool feeling. You know, Waco is definitely a special place to us now.
And you're stepping up. What are you throwing here?
So I'm throwing my iBlend Emperor. I'm kind of aiming at that big tree on the left because of that left to right wind, kind of on a hyzer. And she just flipped.
Whoa. Yeah, that wind definitely shoved you over. You see that flag blow in that direction, but luckily you're safe.
Yep.
Next up, from Pipestone, Minnesota, the 3-time Open champion, sponsored by Prodigy Disc, Catrina Allen.
And Catrina Allen yet again on another feature card. One of the most incredible hyzer flip throwers that I've ever seen in disc golf in general. Watch her. She's still lining up a hyzer flip, it looks like, on this shot.
Well, that's what was kind of crazy is, yeah, she does these crazy hyzer flips, but she can control them in the wind.
Yes, and that's just years and years of mastery and practice. Oh, yeah. If it sits down, should be in circle 1. Ah.
Little skip to the left.
Got shoved a little bit short left.
The defending Belton, Open Belton champion. Open Belton champion.
Ooh, a little bit of a blunder there from the announcer.
Mandujano.
And Valerie is another player that's new to the bigger events, but has just beautiful backhand form.
And she's actually our reigning champion, throwing a Star Destroyer here on hole 1.
And that's got to get around those trees. Wow, those trees on the right have been a little bit forgiving.
They definitely come into play, and I was surprised that none of us really got caught up in them.
And Valerie is safe.
Disc Golf Pro Tour champion, sponsored by Discraft, Hailey King.
And yet another player with just phenomenal backhand form. Folks, if you want to watch some of the best backhand form in the FPO division, this is a great card to watch. And Hailey has flipped that over just a little bit. I think she was trying to throw straight Annie out of the hand. And that
it just kept drifting. It didn't really stop. It didn't come out. So she's going from that right side OB.
And drops her zone to about 15. Kind of a soft run there from Catrina. She's going to sit down for an easy par, as will Valerie.
So this putt was just like a straight headwind.
Ooh, nice try.
Not enough Annie. I was worried it was, if I put it on too much Annie, it was just going to drift way right.
Yeah, and you are, like you've mentioned, you've switched to a new putting style, so there's all sorts of new challenges that you're probably facing for the first time still, even though you've probably been grinding the hours on that new release. There's probably situations where you're like, I'm not sure what this is going to do.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to, fine-tune my headwind putts as well, just like the tailwind. Like, I just don't know what they're going to do quite yet.
Yeah.
If they're going to drop or what, because it's so different compared to everybody else's.
Exactly. And you do get the par save starting off the round safely. And this hole 1, just starting off the round, averaged a 3.78. So as a par 3, you are taking strokes in the field, taking that par. And we are going to move into hole number 2, low ceiling par 4, 492 feet. There is a roller option off the tee. You can also try to throw a low driver and skip off some of that hard packed dirt. And as you can see, there is a protected sloped green.
So I went with my Halo Destroyer, one of my most overstable discs in the bag, just because that left-right was pushing so hard.
And you are safe in the fairway. And Catrina, one of the best roller throwers in the FPO division, if not the best, does not opt for it. I'm guessing the wind is going to have something to do with that.
Valerie going with that same Destroyer.
Oh, wow, that wind is ripping.
Yeah, that was surprising to see that drift so far right.
And Hailey's drive also pushes a little bit too far right. She's in a tough spot here.
Yeah, so this upshot's pretty touchy because you can't see the pin, and so it's like even if you like go for it, it like slopes down so fast that your disc just drifts down that hill.
And Catrina is trying to land probably just over the brim of the hill and didn't quite get it. She's going to have a long look for birdie.
And that surprised me. I didn't expect Val to go forehand with that amount of wind, but, you know, confidence, you know.
And there is some brush off to the right. She did stick there. And after your long drive...
So I actually had a weird footing situation going on where I had to do like a weird sidestep and I didn't get enough power.
Oh, almost a nice throw in there from Hailey. And Kat is going to be betting against the field. Oh, no.
That was very unlucky.
Little bit deep after hitting that sponsorship pad on the basket. Valerie is going to take another safe par, and you have a choice to make here.
It was very windy, and it's downhill. Oh, I wanted it.
Just off the top. Would have been a great birdie. Drop in par. And this is not an easy putt. Especially with her hyzer putt that she likes to release on. And just low.
What's up, everyone? I have some iBlend Emperors on the Infinite Discs website. Some Star Mako 3s. They're kind of hard to find, but Innova should be restocking them soon. And then I also just got, this isn't them obviously, but some commemorative Waco alpacas. So make sure to check those out on the Infinite Discs website as well. But come on, if you don't have a rangefinder, you gotta get one. Bushnell is doing amazing things for our sport, and it improves your game. So check them out. Thank you all.
Moving into hole number 3, 223 feet, but a very challenging 223. Kind of a chopped sidearm down this hill, I would say.
Yeah, it's an interesting forehand off the tee because like you want to like get it low enough to where it like crests that hill, but like the mistake everyone seems to make is hitting that hill early and then not getting down.
And it looks like yours does get down. You might have a little bit of an obstructed putt. And the tough part that I've noticed about this hole is getting caught up in that right side, having that forehand fade off a little bit too early and not push forward enough. Hailey going with her straighter zone. That is a 2020 Tour Series.
Weird skip. We expected that to be like perfect, so it like had a weird skip to the right.
Yeah, and she's going to be circle 2, probably laying that up. And here's the rare sidearm from Catrina. She has a great sidearm, doesn't opt for it often.
She like barely missed like a really small tree that you have to miss off the tee. It was like one of those, you know, butt clenchers.
Yeah, for sure. And she did sneak through that left side, and she is putting for birdie. Hailey is just conceding the par.
And so Valerie's actually putting with her new Tour Series Pro AVR. Oh, and like I think she literally put these in this week. So it's crazy to see like she played really well with them. The confidence was there.
It's always nice to have a plastic blend that kind of matches the way you want to putt. And you have a putt here. Maybe. There's a bunker of these skinny trees between you and the basket.
Yeah, see, look at this. So I had that big tree on the right and that small one. I'm like, oh, cash, this would be so sick. Camera guy's right there. Ah, I hit the small tree.
And it's something you have to go for, but it's a very scary putt to even miss by an inch.
It was a tough putt for Kat. She got stuck on that weird wall and didn't really have a good stance.
And as these pars are dropping in the basket, another thing to note when we're looking at the scoring spread against the field, hole number 2 averaged a 3.96. So again, taking a par takes another stroke on the field. And it's, I think, a lot of these weird reactions off these early trees and not being able to get up and down from the more elevated state. And you are going to tap in your par as we move into hole number 4.
Hole number 4. So off the tee, this hole's pretty tough, and we actually sat here for about 10-15 minutes waiting for the cart ahead of us. You got OB on the left, but it does stop. But the river on the left, if you kick all the way down there, and then you got some trees on the right, all the way to this basket on this elevated green that they actually made.
Such a beautiful scenic hole, and this is the scary tee shot.
So out of my hand, I actually thought it was good. I had my leopard 3, but I think the wind just did something weird and flipped her over. Ooh, Val.
And Val throws another fantastic drive. This is a scary backhand. If you're roll bouncing off of any of these trees on the right, you are kicking into that out of bounds left territory. And I believe it's considered out of bounds just because of how steep the drop off is, right? Just, it's a safety precaution, if anything.
Yep.
And looks like she's safe.
That was a really good out from her from that spot, because you're down there, you can't really see the pin or anything. You're just trying to get in the open. Oh, and then my spot.
Yeah, and then here's Kona's lie. She's looking for stretch out sidearm.
It was the smallest gap I could find.
Oh, and you got it. What a shot. Even to get it outside of circle 2 in the open is totally fine from there.
I was totally happy with it. So that was Val's rock 3, and she just hammered on it and threw it so well. It's inside the circle.
And you have stuck on the hill. And Hailey, one of the players that admittedly does not lay up often, luckily sticks on the hill there. And this is Catrina for a fantastic birdie. Tries to drop it in on the hill, potentially thinking about that rollaway in the trajectory of her putt.
Yeah, it did roll down the hill a little bit, so she'll still have an uphill putt at the basket.
And a great birdie for Valerie. Smooth backhand, then a rock 3 standstill. That is taking strokes on the field.
Saving par, but
wow.
Woo.
You know, these disc golf baskets are, you know, they're not meant to catch at such steep angles. So when you have these elevated baskets, even the slightest headwind can make it an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, they used to stress me out when I first started getting into disc golf.
Consistency is the foundation that talent thrives from.
Paul steps up.
Day after day, and year after year. Luck has nothing to do with it.
Moving into hole number 5, 788-foot par 4. This is a just straight up smasher hole.
Yeah, you know, you gotta hit this line off the tee, which is like directly by this OB on the right side. So it's a very interesting tee, and you'll see.
And that came out of Valerie's hand with a little bit too much turn, but definitely snuck back in bounds. There's that gap you're talking about.
So this is the error I just kept having during practice, and obviously I'm still having. It's just that tree is right there, and with the right to left wind, it just pushes you.
It looks like Hailey's making the same mistake with her Zeus, and that is going to be inbounds.
So this was interesting. I didn't really know what Catrina was doing, if she was going for the roller or if going for this Anheuser, but she kind of got put in this weird spot by those trees on the left side.
And
you can hear me talking. I'm like, please don't go behind the tree. I was like, no, I just want to get in the open. I went away from the backhand because that, you know, I didn't want to hit my hand or anything. So
looks like you're in a good spot. There is a lot of room to work with on this fairway. Catrina goes with the backhand. Yeah, that's a good spot. Great shot from Catrina. And Hailey seems to just be a little bit off today. The releases are just not as clean as we have seen from her.
No, which was surprising because I saw her in the practice field and she was bombing.
And that was a bomb.
She shut you up real quick.
Yeah, thank you, Hailey.
So that was a swirly falcon. I don't really know what that is exactly, but it flew really straight.
A falcon, I believe, is a Millennium disc, and it is a fast driver. Sit down.
I actually hit one of those beef sticks or whatever those people keep calling
She hit
them
the beef stick, folks.
People keep calling them beef sticks for some reason, so we're sticking with it.
There's mozzarella sticks at Winthrop Gold. There's beef sticks at Belton.
Yes.
We love our snack foods on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And something to note for players that don't, that maybe are getting into disc golf for the first time, I mentioned that Valerie threw a Millennium disc, and she is sponsored by Innova, but Millennium is actually made by Innova. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes, the players are actually allowed to throw from any company that is molded by Innova.
Yep, that's why I can throw that iBlend Emperor, because
Exactly.
Infinite, you know, gets their disc from Innova.
Hailey taps in her par. And Kona's got to deal with the Slim Jims now.
And I'm trying to save par right here. Oh, Slim Jims. Oh. Oh, lazy.
Just slow.
It was lazy. I knew it as soon as I released it. Didn't commit.
That's going to be a tap in bogey, your first of the round. And a par for Catrina after a solid second shot put her way up the fairway.
Yeah, it's great seeing Catrina have the confidence with her putt nowadays. You know, in the past it's been a little rough, but lately I feel like she's stepping up and she's just putting them in the basket. So it's really great to see.
One of the most practiced professional disc golfers I think I've ever seen and ever really heard of. You best believe after every poor putting performance, she's on the basket, grinding away those hours. And we're going to move into hole number 6. This is a tough hole, 428-foot par 3. What are your thoughts here, Kona?
So you can either go center gap through those 2 trees right off the tee, or you can go forehand, which with this wind, you'll see a few of us do.
And Hailey had mentioned that something had clicked in her forehand recently. And that was just kind of an unfortunate landing, but she's going to get up and down for the 3. And there's that signature roller from Catrina. Oh my gosh. That's got to stand up.
Dude, it just kept going.
Oh no.
And the bar saved her. We didn't even know. We thought she went out of bounds. So, yeah, we didn't realize that from that far away that the bar actually saved her.
And that was probably something she took into consideration when throwing that shot in practice. Valerie just chips a safe forehand in the fairway. As do you.
Yeah, it's just like, I thought about it, and it wasn't worth going down that center gap and hitting that tree because I'm not getting to the pin. Just take your par and walk away.
Yeah, and it almost seems like the only way to get the 2 here as a righty is throwing that roller.
Yep.
And how many players in the division have that perfect of a roller?
Not too many.
It's one of the tougher shots in the game to learn, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, that chip shot sidearm is pretty money. That is a tap-in par.
Yeah, Catrina just pitching up. I mean, she couldn't really give it a run from that far out, especially on her knee.
Hailey missing low. That's going to be a bogey.
Yeah, Valerie was on today. She was looking really clean, really good.
Yeah, saving her par. That's going to keep her at even par. And, man, this course from a scoring standpoint has been challenging for your card. Lots of tough holes that every shot seems to have to be perfect in order to get that birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to let you guys know I have Swirly Falcons for sale by Millennium. If you don't know, check them out, message me. And then I also have the new Tour series released. If you're not putting with them, I highly recommend it, you should.
Hole 7, so we got OB along that left side of the fence and then OB all along the right side. So you're really just trying to go center fairway and then pitch up to the basket. You don't want to go too long, though, because it does downslope.
Yeah, they're calling this one a par 3, but this averaged a 3.97, I believe, averaging more like a par 4, and it sounds like a lot of players are playing it as a par 4.
Yeah, it is a longer hole, and there's just so much that could go wrong. You could skip left, or, you know, in some cases, you can flip up, go right. That we did have a hard left-right wind. And for some reason, I wanted to throw really hard, and she did glide out right OB.
Oh, so close, and I saw what you were trying to do there, and that crosswind, like you said, just would not let it come back in bounds.
That's what you need to do right there. Something kind of stable, let it fade, perfect. And she still bombed it, you know?
That's a huge shot from Hailey. That's a Zeus out of her hand.
This was probably my favorite shot on the day because Valerie throws that Nova so clean. I love watching her throw it. So yeah, it was just beautiful to see her throw that shot.
Yeah, straight from the standstill. One of the more neutral flying putters in the game. And you also get up and down. Looks like you have a nice 10-footer for your 4, which really, in the grand scheme of things, is a par. Hailey's breaker, a little bit short.
Yeah, she was ending short on a lot of her up shots.
Great putt to save par. And a correction on that scoring average, it was a 3.93 instead of a 9.7. So that par 3 is very solid. Feel like that hyzer putt got shoved straight down from that crosswind.
It totally did. It was such a weird release, like coming out of her hand.
solid putt there. Saving your 4.
Yeah, I like a clean scorecard. So right now I'm a little irked.
I would definitely understand that. And it seems like with the holes that you're playing so far, it's kind of hard to catch up and rattle off some birdies.
Yep.
And Kat with pretty much a clean, blemish-free scorecard, taking yet another par. And Valerie's had a bit of a up and down round so far after this bogey. Moving on to hole number 8, a very beautiful hole. Subtle dogleg to the left, 488-foot par 4. The eagle is in play with an incredibly aggressive tee shot, but there is that OB to contend with.
Yeah, right now we have a straight headwind / left to right, so just trying to keep it low.
And that is right. She did get pushed a little bit left. As long as that sits down, she is safe. And that's a predator out of Hailey's hand. And that's the thing about Hailey, where crosswinds can kind of get her. She loves to throw flat, almost flex release for a lot of her shots.
So here's a mistake with Valerie, was she just put it a little too high. Like, it was still a fine release, just a little high.
And that's going to be out of bounds left. You're trying to make a correction. And you are safe. You are taking your meter from out of bounds.
Yeah, so Valerie came up a little short on this upshot, and she wasn't very stoked about it, but yeah, we'll see if she can make that putt.
Hailey's, like you said, a little bit short. Just a little bit off on those approaches, which out here seems like it can really cost you strokes. Great up and down.
So I actually released that high, and you didn't see it, but I hit this tiny branch that like redirected it down. So shout out to that tree.
Shout outs to the twigs out there. Catrina, easy up and down for the 3. Oh my gosh. Huge jump putt par save from Val. Let's watch that again. Little nose up, hyzer.
Cashed.
Perfect trajectory.
Look at me. I'm like, what?
Kona
I was like,
is
sick.
stoked.
I was so hyped for her. I was like, dude, what?
It's always good to cheer on your teammates. Hailey with a solid birdie putt from about 25. And she's definitely giving herself some 25-footer practice, that's for sure.
Yes, very much so.
And Kat will grab a stress-free birdie moving into hole number 9. Such a scenic fairway on hole number 9, Kona.
I would say this is a signature hole just because, like, if you take a picture of this hole, you know it's Belton.
Absolutely. That's actually very good explanation of this hole. All these beautiful trees. And got up there a little bit, but might be a little bit short as well.
I liked this play from Hailey, and I wish it would have just been a little bit more right, because I think it would have been perfect. It just drifted a little left.
Yeah, it looked like she yanked it a little bit. She was trying to flex it. And you went clean hyzer out of the hand. This is a fantastic shot.
Leopard 3. I just wanted to go straight. I know this hole is very long for that kind of disc, slow disc, but I just wanted to end straight in the fairway.
And especially with contending with that sloped green anyway, you have to have something slow to not get that crazy cut roll.
Mm-hmm. Her and her Nova.
Wow. Low ceiling. Perfect standstill. And here we go for birdie. Oh, no.
I thought it was going to hit my bag. I'm like, no, I don't want to stroke.
Yeah, and that is another circle's edge putt.
Yeah, I thought I
33.
cashed it. I thought it was cashed all way.
And even coming in with a little bit of anhyzer to flat, you wouldn't think that rollaway would happen, and just showing you why some of these Pro Tour baskets are placed where they are. Oh, and a solid comeback putt.
I was like, why didn't I do that the first time?
And a nice leisurely jog up to the basket to grab that beautiful putt. And Hailey snags another par. She's going to stay at 1 over. Kind of keeping pace with the rest of the pack here. Catrina is going to stay even, which, again, looking at some of these scoring spreads, is strokes ahead of the field.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, it's doing pretty well. We're all just within a stroke of each other, you know?
And there you have it for the front 9 of round 1. It has been a bit of a challenge for this card. 3 players at +1 and Catrina Allen with a pretty steady, even par. Beautiful day out here. We have a lot of players kind of in the same boat, all just trying to get under par and not take those nasty bogey strokes. Kona, it was a fantastic opening 9. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube, and we will catch you on the backside.